Hi, everyone, and my name is Byrd. Today we're making a reversible apron using thrifted denim jeans. This project is eco-friendly, fun, and totally customizable. Here's what you'll need. Sharp scissors or electric shears, a heavy sewing machine needle, tailor's chalk or your favorite marking tool, pins, clips, pattern weights, thrifted denim jeans, and a cotton fabric of your choosing for the lining. All right, we are ready for the deconstruction process. Let's start by cutting along the seams of your jeans using scissors or electric shears. I like to also remove the waistband and pockets. I'll put those aside for later in the process. Take your time. There really is no rush, and it does not have to be perfect. I do indeed love to use my electric shears because they honestly make the heavy work really easy. Using repurposed materials is really great for the environment. Projects like this help keep textiles out of landfills while giving them a second life. Once you've deconstructed the denim, cut them into rectangular pieces. I like to mix up the color waves to create a unique patchwork effect. This is truly, in my opinion, a humble opinion, where the magic starts. Sew the pieces together row by row, and you want to make sure that you press each seam as you go along. Once the rows are ready, sew them together to create a large sheet of fabric. For neat professional seams, I like to use a clapper or a heavy piece of wood to flatten them. I like to put on music or a favorite podcast during this step. It's such a satisfying part of the process. If you are new to me, please take a moment to subscribe. And if you've been rocking with me for a while, I just want to take a moment to let you know how much I appreciate you so very much. So our denim is really beginning to come together. Go ahead now and fold your denim in half. Grab an apron from your home to use as a guide. You can find apron patterns in stores, but for this simple project, an existing apron works perfectly. Once you have your fabric folded the way that you would like, grab your apron, and you want to go ahead and fold your apron in half as well. Line the folded edge of your apron right along and on top of the folded edge of your fabric. So, y'all, this is the third apron I've made this holiday season, and I have to tell you that this one is probably my favorite. I just get so excited when I have the opportunity to work with upcycled fabric. Okay, go ahead and grab your tailor's chalk or your marking tool. I like to use tailor's chalk because the markings disappear when pressed with an iron. As you are tracing around your apron, be sure to leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. If you happen to hear a little bit of excitement or screaming in the background, that's my family. My daughter and my hubby are downstairs watching the Ravens play against the Steelers. I had to think about it. And this is a real rivalry. So I don't know if you're into football, but anyway, they are down there and I have to go and check in a few minutes and see what the score is looking like. So I just got an update from the family, and Ravens are not doing really great today. We're almost at halftime and the score is 6-0. Oh, well, back to the sew along, guys. All right, move your apron, grab your scissors or electric shears, and you just want to cut along the traced areas, cutting out your apron. Working with thick fabric like denim, this is when electric shears really make a big difference and they make the job much easier. Now we get to the fun part, guys. I love adding details. Remember, we cut the pockets and the patches earlier in the deconstruction process, and we kind of set those off to the side. Pull them out. You can place them and move them about until you feel comfortable with the placement. Oh, I even like this little coin pocket, so I definitely want to make sure that I add that in. After you are happy with the placement of everything, go ahead to your sewing machine and you want to begin sewing everything down into place. Using a heavy sewing needle and denim thread really does make a difference. You are going to be sewing through several different layers of denim, so make sure that you're taking your time. I don't always sew for others, but I do enjoy making gifts. And this one is for a good friend, Dr. Garrett. He recently received his doctoral degree, and I want to finish this up and get it in the mail to him before Thanksgiving. Each Thanksgiving and holiday season, he, as well as a number of his friends, they get together, they prepare meals, and they serve the community. And I thought that this would be a nice little touch, so I'm excited to get this in the mail to him. All right, so go ahead and continue to place your pockets down. I even love that the pockets are functional, including that little cute coin pocket. Now let's begin work on the finishing touches. I will repurpose the waistbands. I like to clean it out to reduce any bulk, which will make it very easy, or easier, I should say, when we put it on the apron. This will be really good for the necktie. This one I think will work out perfectly for the hem, so I've cleaned it up nicely on the inside. Now, with your scraps, don't throw away the scraps. We're going to need several yards. I know it may seem like a lot, but it will come together and you will have on hand likely enough scraps to do this. So 2.5 inches wide, and you're just going to connect those little strips until you have enough of what we are going to be creating, which is bias binding. After you've done that, go to the ironing board and you are going to press the raw edges in toward the center. And then you're also going to press at the fold and give that a really, really good press. And the bias binding that we are creating will be perfect for cleaning up the raw edges of our apron. This is looking great. Oh gosh, I love this. I think he's going to love it as well. So let's begin work on the lining. I chose a really beautiful, colorful Ankara fabric that I picked up from a fabric swap in downtown Baltimore. I think this will give the back of the apron a really beautiful pop of color. So lay your apron out really flat. Use your scissors or electric shears and just trace all the way around the apron, creating your lining piece. Ankara comes in so many beautiful colors. You can even find some that are a little bit more muted. I really love working with it. It's so easy to cut and sew, and it is breathable. For this particular project, choosing a cotton, I would definitely go with one that is lightweight because you don't want to add any additional weight to the apron. It's looking really good. So once you are done cutting out the lining, take it back to the apron and the lining back to your sewing machine, and you just want to baste all the way around the perimeter of the apron. So this is how it looks really good. The basting really holds it all in place. Go ahead and grab your bias binding, and you're going to open it up and just gently place the raw edges of your apron in between those folds. Go ahead and use some clips or pins, and this will create a really clean finish on the sides of your apron. When you get to the end, go ahead and trim off any excess of the bias binding. You're going to need that on the other side. So do the exact same thing on the other side. Take it to your sewing machine and sew that down. It has created a very clean finish on both sides of your apron. Now we're going to work on the hem. I'm repurposing the denim waistband for the hem. I think it adds so much character. Go ahead, play around with its placement until you're happy with the look. Pin it down and use clips. I folded under the sides of the waistband where the waistband meets the bias tape that we created, and that will create really a really neat finished look. You do not have to. You can really keep it completely raw. It is really whatever speaks to you. So use pins and clips to really hold it down from one end all the way to the other end of your hem. When you get to the end, you're going to trim off the excess piece of the waistband, and then we're going to head over to the sewing machine. Once you finish this, go ahead and trim off any excess portions of the waistband. Take it over to your sewing machine. Take your time because we are actually sewing through anywhere between 4 and 6 different layers of denim fabric. My heart is honestly really happy knowing that I've used either gifted or thrifted materials for this entire project. I've been really lucky to have friends and family gift me denim jeans they no longer need, and I've found some amazing ones while thrifting. These jeans come with their own stories, I'm sure, and character, making them even more special to work with. This is such an easy DIY project, and we are so close to being done. We just need to add the bias binding, ties, and the necktie, and we'll all be done. Okay, so the hem is looking really good. I like the way that it turned out. Okay, let's move on now to the sides of the bib. And the same way that we added the bias binding to the sides of the apron, you want to do that now to the sides of the bib, but you want to leave a tail, I'm going to say, of about 36 inches of the bias binding, which will now become your ties to tie around your back. The length of the tie is totally up to you based on how you want the apron to fit. Cut off any excess of the bias binding because you'll need it on the other side. Okay, this is how it looks so far, and I really like the way that it's coming along. I love the ties. I think it looks good around the top of the bib, on the sides as well. Now all that we have left is to work on finishing the very top of the apron, and I am definitely going to be using the waistbands to do that. That button that you just saw, I'm going to use that as the way to open and close the neckband, but I'm also making it adjustable. So I added additional buttonholes so that the neckband is completely adjustable. Playing around with it a little bit here, making sure that I'm happy with the placement, and then I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and sew it down. I'm so happy with how this reversible apron turned out. It's completely unique, made entirely from donated and thrifted materials. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. If you try it yourself, please share your creations in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more creative DIY projects. Thanks for joining me today for this easy reversible apron from Upcycled Denim. It's an easy, no pattern sewing tutorial. I appreciate you guys so much. Happy sewing. Bye-bye for now.